a swing, good soul. The story of Lot leaving Sodom because of the three messengers who had first appeared to Abraham and then went to go visit Lot has been misunderstood as to the reasoning why Sodom was destroyed. Christianity is insistent and demanding that it was because of homosexuality. The church likewise demands that it be homosexuality, and purposely put TG homosexuality in the footnote references to make sure that Mormons clearly understand the church's position on this. Despite this, I tried to inform the church of Ezekiel chapter 16, and they refused to listen. They were insistent that it be homosexuality. David Gaunt specifically demanded that it remain homosexuality for the foreign language editions. Despite our orders that we were not to put in our own opinions about references, but that we were supposed to reference scriptures first, or any of the words of the prophets that gave an understanding of the text that therefore could be applied. And so he was sort of going off of that rather than scripture. Nonetheless, I lost out in getting it properly referenced and homosexuality removed from the context. The story of Lot is a pattern for the second coming. Fire from the sky destroys the Great Salt Lake Valley. Did you Mormons know that you are targeted for doom and destruction? Well, this is why, and I'm going over it in this video. As you probably can recall, the basic principle of the story is that the messengers were warning of destruction. And so they came to Abraham, hey, this place is going to be destroyed. And Abraham goes through the spiel, well, if there's 100, will you spare it? Oh yeah, if there's 100, we'll spare it. Well, if there are 50? Wait a minute. Why are you going down? You're supposed to negotiate up. And so, yeah, Abraham negotiates down and ends the story. And then you go to Lot as the messengers then come, and the townspeople say, hey, we want to have these messengers participate in our temple rituals. And you're going, what? What do you mean temple rituals? Yeah, I thought so. It wasn't homosexuality. And so that's why Lot said, hey, take my daughters. You guys need to understand the historical context. And yes, it was written during the Greek or Roman period, which that was the practice at the temple rituals of the Greeks and Romans, as people can't find Canaanite instances of such a practice. That's because it's a Roman or Greek literature piece talking about the latter days, which makes it apocalyptic literature, is what it's referred to. And so the messengers warn Lot he needs to leave and take his family and go, because God, well, it's not God. Alma chapter 3 says men bring upon their own cursings, neglecting the poor. And so they're warning, saying, hey, there's a natural disaster coming. Stars are falling from the heavens, will destroy Sodom. You need to take your family and leave. So, like the flood story, hey, there's going to be a flood. The people refuse to listen to the voice of God. The Mormon scriptures add information that Noah tried to warn the people, and the people refused to listen to Noah. That's additional information in our text, which is in harmony with the rest of the passages and the pattern for the latter days. As if you're not catching on, guess what I'm doing? But I don't like you, Travis. You have a tone we don't like. Sorry, tough. That isn't any excuse. And we're listening to Nelson. We're not going to listen to you. Okay, have fun with that. He already set you up for failure with the storm that came by. I warned you about it. He didn't. And now he's saying, oh, we had no idea it was coming. Oh, it was horrible. You guys should have been prepared. You guys are the ones to blame. You guys chose not to listen to me. You chose to listen to him. He's now blaming you for not being prepared. Yay. Okay, have fun listening to him. And so Lot takes his family, which consisted of his wife and 2 daughters, and they leave. And as they're leaving, the wife says, hey, no, I want the lifestyle that I had back in Sodom. I'm not leaving my home. And so she turns back. And it may have been because she wanted to get something, whatever, she turned back. And in the course of turning back, the skies fell and destroyed Sodom, and she along with it. And they call her death a pillar of salt that she turned into. And then the biblical author has to make sure that he throws in a jab, a racist jab against the people of Ammon. And the other daughter to claim that those tribes are descended from Lot and that they are a result of incest, father and daughter. Yeah. Okay, guys, cut it out. Play with your toys nicely. And so here we have Ezekiel saying, okay, here's why I, the Lord, destroyed Sodom. It's in Ezekiel chapter 16. 49. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread. They were filthy rich. Abundance of idleness. They had tons of food, they didn't need to work. Or they had the slaves do all the working for them, which was why they had a ton of food. And thus they were able to just lounge around and fool around. It was in her and her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. So now we turn to Utah. Temple Square used to have tons, literally tons. You couldn't go anywhere around Temple Square without encountering a homeless person panhandling for money. They were everywhere. The church didn't like it. The city tried to put up signs saying no panhandling allowed. The people sued, got a lawyer from the ACLU or something, and they sued to take down the signs. People are allowed to panhandle. So then the city stepped in to help the church. The Gateway Mall Project. Operation Cleansing. So They built it right across the street from the shelter. 1,100 beds, and it was overflowed. People were lined up outside. At least 100 lined up outside of a 1,100 bed facility already overflowing. And they built the gateway specifically for this purpose, to destroy the homeless, neglect them, kill them off. Because what's going to happen once you build the gateway? Well, the homeless are going to go panhandle by the stores. Hey guys, you got money? Can you give me some? Can you spare a dime? Isn't that Sad Girls? Is it Diana Ross who sings that? Sad Girls. Oh, let's see if I can find it. Can you spare a dime? That was actually code, pretending to be panhandlers, and yet they were sex traffickers, prostitutes. They got it from the Bible, you know. And so the stores complained. Hey, we got all these panhandlers. Church is doing much better now. They got rid of the people as they go to the gateway. And so a lot less panhandlers at Temple Square. And so now people are complaining. And so the government steps in. You had that Hughes guy spend just one night in the safety with police officers in a one-way mirror office across the street with cameras posted so that he can see what was going on, and he claims he spent the night downtown to know exactly what to do. And so yeah, Operation Rio Grande. They were going to close down the shelter by arresting the homeless. They made room in the Salt Lake County Jail, transferred a number of people to other jails in the valley and nearabouts, so that they could put the homeless in there. And so the night of Operation Rio Grande, didn't have enough police, so they had to call in extra police, and they had to work overtime and pay overtime pay, and only 100 got arrested that first night, as the rest just scattered throughout Utah, using the railway system to flee. And so then they boarded it up, put gates down there to prevent traffic from going down, and required ID badges, special ID badges, Nazi type ID badges, to identify not only workers, caseworkers, but also the homeless who wanted to get help for their homelessness. Because remember, they're to blame for their homelessness. And so, eventually they were forced to say, okay, fine, we'll build more shelters. Where would you like them? Utah? Hell no, in our city. So, okay, fine, we'll put them where we want to. And so they put one by the mental home and the Salt Lake County Jail. That was one of them. That's how they think of the poor and the homeless, is that they're just mentally ill criminals. And so, the total number of beds was 700 in those 3 shelters that they newly built. 400 less than the downtown shelter, which was already overflowed by at least 100. You see how much they love the poor and want to care for their well-being? People who are abusive, who have been brainwashed by the government, tell the poor, go get a job. quit milking the system. They don't qualify for welfare, guys. They're not counted on the welfare stats. And so, let's do the math. Okay, so they get a job at working at McDonald's. Oh, oops. They don't have enough money to even pay for rent, let alone food, clothing, furnishings, and the other tools and necessities for having your own place to live. McDonald's doesn't cut it. And so then what do you say? Oh, well, get a better job. Really? So working for McDonald's is slavery? Do you see where we're going here? Are you sure you want to go that way? Well, it's a job for kids. Oh, child slavery now. See what happened? Your excuse as to why the poor should be punished for their poverty, if you remember the Zoramite story, completely collapses, because we've now exposed a child slave trade going on in the state of Utah and throughout the United States. This is neglecting the poor, but not just neglecting the poor, enslaving the poor. Do you see how Utah fits the pattern for the destruction of Sodom? For neglecting the poor. I'm sure you believe in a God, and I can assure you that God is pissed. And so this Thursday, there is a sign in the heaven, the final trumpet, the falling stars of the Orionids appeared on the 3rd, the day of Sukkot, ingathering, tabernacles. Thursday night is the last night of Sukkot, as the 9th is the last day. And on the 8th is the sign. It is announcing the victory of Horus. The star Sirius has conquered, has won the race, has beaten Venus, the star of Lucifer. The star of Ishtar of Babylon. Babylon has fallen. The great and abominable church has fallen. And it is announced on Thursday. Signs in the heavens all this week, starting from the 3rd, all symbolize it. But, like Laman and Lemuel said, Jerusalem's not going to be destroyed. We're not wicked. You sure you want to place your bets on that? The bell is already rung. No more bets to be placed. The race is on and here comes pride in the backstretch. Hard eggs moving to the inside. So then look at the coronavirus and how our government, not just here in Utah, well, not just in the federal government, but Utah as well, are dealing with taking care of Utahns during the coronavirus. They were slow to shut everything down. They were more concerned with businesses, keeping the economy, than they were for your safety. So not only do they neglect the poor, they don't even give a damn about you. And so when they finally did shut things down, oh, well, the federal stimulus, that takes care of us, right? $1,200 for individuals, that's more than enough money to take care of people. Well, it's now going on 8 months. And we only got the $1,000. That was it. Those who lost their jobs, that money's now gone. It was only $600 to replace whatever money you were making from your Burger King flipping job, which was still less than what you made at Burger King flipping burgers. Do you see how much they hate us, the people? They were more concerned about businesses, and not all businesses, because small businesses, the mom and pop stores, got screwed also. As the money was supposed to go to small businesses, but yet big businesses are getting the money. What's going on? You guys aren't small businesses. Oh, well, there was a little technical wording in the law or act or whatever that allowed big businesses to get the money too, and took it away from the small businesses. So, yeah, that was all the coronavirus was used for. A profiting scam for the big businesses. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints being one of those big businesses. The whole economic collapse at the beginning, oh, the poor businesses, they lost money. No, they re-diverted the money into coronavirus-friendly businesses. That's all they did. It was just a showpiece for you to make it look like everything's collapsing. They're not poor. They're not suffering. Don't be fooled. They're just finding excuses to make more money. And so you guys are suffering without work. And Herbert opens up. Get back to work. But the virus hasn't passed over. Remember that word, Passover? Wonder where it comes from. Yes, the end of the world story of the Exodus. Moses confronting Pharaoh. And a virus destroys the Egyptian dynasty. And Moses gets to go. And then the creation story, symbolism of the parting of the Reed Sea. The dry land appearing in the midst of the waters separating. Oh, yeah, okay. Huh, never thought of it that way. I know nobody did. I'm the one who's bringing it up. But, yeah, they don't care about you. They're not going to give you another stimulus. Maybe with Trump going down, and if he dies, then the Republicans are going to have to revert back to keeping their dirty little secrets in their heads, rather than being bold enough to support Trump. But, yeah, our government is collapsing, and destruction awaits us. Herbert doesn't care about you. He cares more about business. And now he's extorting businesses. Hey guys, you want to stay open? You need to stay safe. Yeah, like he's going to do anything to them. He's letting the coronavirus get out of hand. We're over 1,000 new cases on a daily basis now. He just gave up on us. He's just letting us die. He only has one more month in office anyway, plus the remainder whenever he gets replaced officially. He doesn't care about you guys. And Cox is in on it too, guys. And yet you're going to vote for him, aren't you? Because he's the Republican Mormon candidate.